Welcome back to Firestorm Games, and you're joining us as we take a look at another one of Games Workshop's latest releases for Warhammer 40k. The kit in question is another one of the ongoing wave of new Space Marine and Necron releases, and is of course these Affidian Destroyers. As always, we'll be building this kit whilst talking about the unit's rules before taking a look at some of the assembled miniatures. So, let's get started. The Affidian Destroyers sit among the fast attack elements of your Necron forces, and so come with the speedy 10 inches of movement. In addition to this, the Ophidians also come with a special rule, Tunneling Horrors. This allows the unit to be set up in reserve, entering the battlefield at the end of one of your movement phases anywhere on the battlefield, so long as you're not within 9 inches of any enemy models. This gives the unit some excellent mobility, allowing them to appear almost anywhere and move quickly once they have done so. This is good news considering that the Ophidians are built solely for the close combat phase. Lacking any ranged weaponry, to deal any damage with this unit you'll need to be up close and personal. So once you've used your unit's speed to close in on the enemy, what kind of hardware is this unit bringing to the table? The base weaponry, first of all, consists of hyperphase threshers. These can dish out strength 4, -3 AP and 2 damage attacks, with the added bonus of making an additional attack with this weapon each time it's used. This makes them excellent for taking on Space Marines, particularly Primarists. Whilst the strength is nothing to write home about, unleashing 3 -3 AP or -4 if you run the Novok Dynasty attacks that each land 2 damage should make short work of those power armoured superhumans. Combine this with Hardwire for Destruction and a 3+ weapon skill, and you'll be expecting most of those hits to land. On their literal other hands, they have Affidian Claws. These only have -1 AP and deal 1 damage, but they do give you a bonus of 2 extra attacks, meaning that these are much better suited for more numerous yet weaker units like Guardsmen. In addition to these weapons, 1/3 of your unit must be equipped with a hyperphase Reap Blade instead of the Threshers. This lends your unit the option for 3, strength 6, -4 AP, damage 3 attacks. Not to mention any unmodified hit roll of a 6 scores an additional hit against your target. This heavier hitting weapon is not only great against Marines, but can also be brought to bear against more lightly armoured vehicles too, easily mitigating all but the highest toughness and armour saves. But that's not all. Couple all that with a plasma sight, which can give your unit 1 extra point of strength and an extra attack, and you're really ramping up the damage output. Sure, you run the risk of overloading one of your destroyers on the roll of a 1, but that's all part of the fun. So while the damage output is impressive, this unit is quite the glass cannon. With only 3 wounds apiece, toughness 4 and a paltry 4+ armour save, at least by Necron standards, the Ophidians are pretty fragile. While you do have benefits of living metal and reanimation protocols, you'll want to keep this unit out of the way during your opponent's shooting phase. In fact, it's much safer to keep these guys locked in combat due to Whip Coil Blaze rule. This adds a -1 modifier to any melee attacks directed at your Ophidians. Ideally, you want this unit to deal as much damage in your first charge as possible. Having your enemy fall back, leaving the Ophidians left exposed in the subsequent shooting phase, will not turn out well for you. Therefore, you should use them to pick off isolated units, preferably those who are holding objectives or dishing out ranged attacks from your opponent's backline. Alternatively, keeping them in reserve until they are needed is also another good role for them. Having them suddenly pop up to counter your opponent's assaults on your flanks or your rear guard will certainly put a spanner in the works for your enemy. Ideally, if you plan on deep striking, then coupling them with a Hexmark means you can still benefit from dynastic protocols. Alternatively, a Chronomancer could be used to grant them a 5+ invulnerable save and allow them to reroll their charge dice. All in all, this makes them the faster and slightly more destructive, albeit squishier alternative to the Skorpek Destroyers. So, enough about their battlefield role. What are the miniatures themselves like? The kit contains enough components to build 3 Affidian Destroyers as well as a plasma sight and is fully plastic. With this kit, any 3rd and 4th edition Necron players will be pleased to see the return of what is essentially the old Wraith. Although their rules and background is much different now, their aesthetics are clearly modelled on this classic Necron unit. The long spine-like tail, hunched shoulders and claw-like fingers certainly hark back to the older models. Personally, I love this fact about them. I was a little sad when the older race became Canoptech Wraith, so it's nice to see that style returning, even if they are now called Affidian Destroyers. The kit itself is pretty standard, with only a few elements of customization afforded by the choice of 6 different heads in the kit. However, the arms do feature ball and socket joints. While each has a small tab to help with adhesion and positioning, these could be easily shaved away to give your arms a greater degree of maneuverability. But overall, it's a great looking kit that fits nicely among other Necron units, both old and new. So let's finish off the assembly and take a look at some of the completed miniatures. And so that concludes our look at the Affidian Destroyers. Overall, it's great to see some old school stylings resurfacing in a new unit that provides us with some excellent close combat options for our Necron forces. So if you're looking to pick up this kit for yourself, you'll be able to save yourself a little money, and as you'll find this kit with at least 10% off the RRP on the Firestorm Games web store, which you can find a link to in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave your comments and subscribe to be kept up to date with all of our future videos. And so, we just want to say a big thank you for watching this video, and we hope to see you again on Firestorm Games.